Well, good morning, everyone. And I have a discussion topic for us today, or EV talking point, perspective shift, whatever bullet point or buzzword you want to use. But being at a GM dealership here at Schwan Buick GMC, we do have both EV options as well as our traditional ICE vehicles, so gas, diesel, those internal combustions. And around here, we have a lot of questions. Being in North Dakota, where people love to drive, are always concerned about range. And if it's not range, it comes down to charging times. Because we've all grown up where you pull in the gas station, you fill, you put all that fuel in the tank, and you're good to go. And people are always wondering, always saying that you can fill up faster than you can an EV. So this morning, when I had to fill fuel in my car here, which I think it was 15 gallons I think I put into this thing, I timed it. So the moment I pulled off the road into the gas station, so that would technically be the time the inconvenience starts, pulled up. The initial pump I went to, ironically, had an out of order bag over the pump. So for all of those that say all EV chargers are out of order or slow, happens to the fuel vehicles as well. Spun around, grabbed my pump, ran inside, started because you have to run the card inside now at most places. Went out, grabbed some drinks, filled up the car. Took me 5 minutes and 33 seconds, which is faster than EV charging if you're comparing it to the fast chargers. Fast chargers in our Hummer EV, you can put about 100 miles range in 10 minutes. So yes, 5 minutes is half. But you're failing to think about most people, for the day-to-day driving, which this car does, is at home. I would get home, I'd pull up to my garage, plug it in, and I don't have that extra 5 minutes that I have to spend at a gas station. Plus, I have less impulse buying, so I don't have necessarily spending the extra money there. But that's not necessarily an EV problem, that's a me problem. But I guess where I'm going at this is, to a certain point, people forget that most of the time you're going to be charging here at your home, not pulling off at a gas station, not having to go out of the way, that kind of route. The only time you're going to be using that fast charging is if you are going on a longer road trip, which brings up the range aspect of things. Most people think 300 miles is way too short to feel comfortable about an EV. Which, I guess, if you are like me and a Vikings fan and you want to go to Minneapolis and catch a Vikings game and turn around and come back every now and then, maybe not the best option, because it does add a little bit of time stopping and going. So I will give gas vehicles the benefit there. However, most people are just driving to and from work. I think if you look at the average stat, it's 40 miles or less is what the average American does. Now, the average North Dakotan is more than that. I don't know the exact quote there, but once again, you drive home, and most vehicles now have a 300 to 300 mile range on their fuel tank. Are you charging every day? Are you refilling every day? Are you doing any of that? No, most of the time it's maybe once a week, twice a week. So you think about that in the realm of the EVs. You get home, you plug in, it's ready to go the next morning. You can always be at 100% if you want. It's not recommended. 80% is actually the recommended load range on the EVs for other things, but that's a different topic. But if I'm looking at my car right now, which does a lot of in-town driving, and like I said, it is a 5.3, so it's not the most fuel efficient thing in the world, but I have a range of 281 miles, which does everything this vehicle needs for me. It's my day-to-day driver. It gets my kids to school, to preschool, back to work. I can drive around town, do grocery runs, and like I said, I refuel maybe every 2 weeks. So a 300-mile range in town for your daily mission would be absolutely perfect, because you don't have the inconvenience of stopping at a gas station. You can just plug in at home. And then 2, in-town driving is where an EV really excels. It's actually going to have a better range in town with that stop-and-go traffic with one-pedal driving. And if you're going to another point, it's going to be a lot more fun for performance-wise. I mean, my car here is a 5.3 liter dropped into this car, and it's fun. That's why I still drive it. It's why I'm still a motorhead and I love my gas vehicles, because their power and, I mean, they're fun. But this thing does not compare to even our Lyriq, which is not our 570 or 830 or even 1,000 horsepower versions of our Hummer, which is even that much more insane. This thing is only 300 horsepower. And that Lyriq, the torque that is there instantaneous, the 0 to 40, the 0 to 60, is going to beat this car any single day. So just a discussion point, not saying which one's better. It really depends on the mission that you're using, but I'd give EVs at least a shot. Test drive one, look at one, actually think how it might work for your mission. Have a good day, everyone.